couple of folks posting questions here. Feel free to go ahead and post if you've got an agenda item you want to focus on. Jennifer says book size for print on demand. Good question here. Let me go ahead and, all right, so I think I am live now on YouTube as well as here on Zoom with the folks that are here. If you are watching this on YouTube and you would like to join us live in my Zoom room, you can go to aprilcox.com/events and it'll redirect you to this Zoom room so that you can join us live. So I just want to say welcome for all of you that are joining me here today. And I want to do a little bit of housekeeping here, just to talk through a couple of things that you may not be aware of, but we just posted. I had a fantastic interview a few weeks back with Ricardo Fayette, who is one of the co-founders of RECCOMMENDED, and we just posted the edited interview. So if you've not yet seen that, you can go to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/self-publishing made simple. So I'll put the link here in the chat for those that are live with me, and for those of you that are already on YouTube, if you haven't had an opportunity to check that out. He is filled with fabulous ideas, and we were specifically talking about publishing and preparing for marketing of your children's book in time for Christmas. So lots of great ideas and things that really matter when it comes to marketing. So take a look at that. Ricardo is an amazing source and has been on my channel with me a few times. And this has been a really great interview. So definitely check that out. I also wanted to talk about a couple of things just very briefly. I'm going to share my screen for a second. Hi, Mary Alice. Nice to see you. So on my selfpubmadesimple.com, you will find upcoming events. And I just want to provide you a couple of little things that you may not have been aware of. I am kicking off an Amazon ads work group starting on July 1st. I only have a couple of seats left. So if you are someone that would like to be polishing up your skill set about Amazon ads and really trying to level up in preparation for those Christmas sales, believe me, now is the time to do it. And this session is going to go for 8 weeks. It's going to be hands-on live meetings together. I'm also recording them as well. You're going to get my Amazon ads guide that I've created, and also we'll be able to share screen and do some things together each and every week. I've got tons of great feedback from the previous work group. And so I've decided to go ahead and run it one more time. And like I said, this is a perfect time to get yourself started. So if you are looking to be a part of Amazon ads, the qualifications that I would say are, you've got a book published already, you have been marketing it, and you need to improve your Amazon ads knowledge, but at least you have a basic idea of what marketing on Amazon is all about. I'd like it to be a little bit more advanced than, hey, I don't even have my book done yet. I don't know what Amazon ads are. I really want this to be very productive for those who are truly ready to level up their marketing for Christmas. So it is a great opportunity, and you can get information and you can register here. For the 8 weeks together, it is $499, and you'll get all of the access to the training, the hands-on for that process. So I'm putting a link there into both the chat here on Zoom, and I will also happily post a link to the chat here on YouTube as well. So that's one thing. The other thing I wanted to show is that with my upcoming events, for those of you who are part of my mastermind, then I wanted to let you know where to go to register for those mastermind events. I have a calendar access here. It is available off of my website where you can go directly to the mastermind sessions. But if you land on the regular advertising or the regular upcoming events page, there's also a link to it here. It says looking for mastermind events, access them here. So when you go here, now you're going to see all of the open events for mastermind. And there are a lot of them that we have every single week. These are all the drop-in events that mastermind members can take advantage of. It is really one of the best programs that I have seen out there for hands-on support, one-on-one at times, but usually small group sessions. There's networking, we have author websites, we have Marketing Monday every week, video marketing, setting up your book on Amazon, a 2-hour block of time. Today, I conducted this earlier today, and we had a few people go through the final things that they needed to prepare and publish their books on Amazon. And that's the kind of stuff that if you were to work with me one-on-one for coaching, it would be $189 at the discounted price right now, just for an hour with me, or higher. Usually it's $249. So you can take advantage of so many of these different events, tech topics with Tammy, Canva for authors, a design session with my #1 go-to designer. We have Joanne Skye training about novel and script writing, and Authorpreneur open office hours. So there's a lot you can do. Now that we have this booking set up, what I'm asking people to do is go in and book the sessions as mastermind members that you want to be a part of. It is available for non-members who want to try a session, and there are, this one's $20 to participate as a non-member. But when you click on booking, I just want to just quickly show, so there's no confusion here. It's going to list your information if it knows you already. So I have a login to my website here. If you don't have an account on my website, then you'll have an opportunity here to create an account when you go in. But it knows who I am. And if you are a mastermind member, instead of seeing this pay now here and seeing a fee, you'll be able to click this drop down and choose the membership that you have, and that becomes your payment. So it ends up being $0. You can go ahead and book the session. And what's really helpful is when you do this, you're going to get reminders prior to the event. You'll also get an opportunity here to put your phone number and have a text message delivered to you prior to the event as well. So you have all of this now at your fingertips. And if you're not a mastermind member, why not? Go check it out. Go and take a look at the mastermind benefits. At this point, we have it discounted 50% off. You can actually get access to all of this stuff for $49 a month. At this special price, it's usually $99 a month. So take a look. If you are an experienced person and you're not, at the very beginning stages, Mastermind is wonderful. If you are at the point where you are, absolutely nothing about self-publishing and you really need more hand-holding, then I'm happy to answer questions about my self-publishing course that we go through, and an intro to self-publishing. There's a lot of other additional resources that I have for you. One of them is just an absolutely free mini course that I put together to help you learn about self-publishing and understand the steps and the common mistakes that are made. And the reason I created that is to help authors not to be taken advantage of, because I felt like there was just so much of that going on, and too many predatory publishers, scooping people in, promising the world and not delivering, and taking tens of thousands of dollars from authors for things that they could have done themselves. So I have plenty of information for you if you're looking for that. So that was basically the housekeeping that I wanted to just talk about before opening up to open Q&A. This is a free event that I do 8 p.m. every Wednesday. It is my gift to the author community that I love so much. And I'm here to answer your questions, whether it be live or on YouTube. You can feel free to go ahead and post your questions in the chat here. What I'll do is I'll start with Jennifer because she has one. So Jennifer, you asked about book size, and KDP and Ingram Spark show a variety of sizes, which is true. So you talk about 8.5 by 8.5, and I'm wondering if it costs more print on demand for larger sizes. So what kind of size, Jennifer, if you wouldn't mind just taking yourself off mute,
Yeah.
what size are you thinking might be helpful for your children's book?
8.5 by 11. I've been really thinking about it, and that's what size I would like.
That's available on both. And there are benefits to the square books, which I just love them for picture books. Because I'll just show you, when you're opening up a square book and you've got, a spread.
Yeah.
It's quite vast, that what it shows. And so you have this really nice big area with its, 17 inches plus across. But if you have some that love to do the 8.5 by 8 by 11 or the 8 by 10, another common size is 6 by 9 for those books that are for the older group, because you have a really great, kids that are 6, 7, 8 and up, if they're getting books assigned to them in school where they're starting to read their own books and reading assignments, they're getting assigned those scholastic books. And so they are the square, not the square, the 6 by 9. So it's more like this size versus an 8.5 by 11 like this. So I just happen to have these hand by hand. These are 2 of my books. And this originally was really targeted for the older group. And then I kind of shifted gears a little bit when I discovered that I didn't really know my target audience as much as I thought, because that whole 4 to 8-year-old group was really the ones that embraced that. And so I kind of switched gears with the size of my books. And now I need to go back and rework that first one.
So do you think for the 8.5 by 11, the spreads, can you still do like half a page of spread or a spread on those books? Or do you think it doesn't look good enough?
You can do it, but when you open up an 8.5 by 11, so you've got 22 inches, 8.5. So it's still the 16 across. But it's longer. So it can still give a really nice, one thing I love about that size is it really feels substantial. It feels, it's a good size book. And if you wanted to test some of what is the pricing and how does the pricing vary from size to size, there are some, let me just go, there's calculators. Calculator.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, if it's a larger book, is that going to cut into your, is that going to cost a lot more to print and cost a lot more to, ship?
Well, definitely the heavier the book, the more it will cost to ship. But I'm gonna put, let's just take a quick look at some things on KDP. There's also a separate calculator on Ingram Spark as well. So if you're using hardcover and Ingram Spark, you'll be able to, I'll pull up that calculator as well. So this one here, you can get right through KDP.
Okay.
And it's a royalty calculator. So if
Okay.
you're doing a paperback and it is with, I'm assuming that you're going to have premium color for this. It's a children's book, right? And if you're doing 8.5 by 11, would you say, what would you say?
32.
Page, what is it?
30, the normal, like 32.
32 page. And what's your list price for the book? Are you thinking?
What is the, whatever, like,
Yeah,
is
let's
the,
just
is
say
the normal, like,
yeah, $13.99 for paperback
Okay.
is usually. So when you fill in the information here, it gives you a little sense of what your printing cost will be and what your estimated royalty will be. So this case, you're going to pay $4.20 to print the book. This is paperback, by the way.
right.
So if you hang on to that, $4.19, so almost the same royalty, right? So
But then you have to deduct the printing too, or, I mean, not the printing, the shipping. They don't show the shipping on here, do
so
they?
if people are ordering through KDP, it's print on demand.
Uh-huh.
So that, they're paying for the printing separately. So that doesn't come out of here. Most, many people like myself have Prime shipping. So we take advantage of that. But this here is Amazon's printing cost as well as your own. This is the royalty would be left for you.
So the shipping, then it doesn't get deducted, like my royalty would be for something. It wouldn't take out
Right.
like, okay.
Yeah, and if we just change the size to 8.5 by 8.5 for a moment, it's relatively the same. So there's no difference in cost to ship or your royalty. It's about the same with that. So it really, you can just choose the size that you feel is best.
Okay.
And I also, when I go to, I'm just gonna Ingram Spark calculator. So I just Google this stuff and it comes up pretty well. So here's Ingram Spark, and they have their own list of calculators as well. So printing, shipping calculator, publisher compensation. Let's do this, publisher compensation, because that gives a little bit more information. So here you're going to select, let's do 8.5 by 11, since that's your preferred amount, 8.5 by 11. So this is another way to make sure that the size that you're looking to do is truly available in both places. We're going to say color, and I usually on Ingram, if I'm doing a hardcover, I start with the color 70, which is on 70-pound paper. And if you're not happy with the quality or the saturation of the color, you can go up to premium or even ultra premium. But I like to start with the standard color and see what happens there. And this is case laminate, and I'll just choose this. So page count of 32 pages, list price with hardcovers. I usually start there and give it the typical discount. So your print cost here for a hardcover is $7.97. Your compensation, which is your royalty, would be $3.23.
Okay.
Now, once you start playing around with things and say, well, what if I wanted to do premium color? It will update the information and show you, here's what you're going to pay for printing, and here's your compensation. So if you were to want to go with the premium color, want to raise up the price a little bit, now $19.99, and you can start playing around. And if you can get, between $3 and $4, that's a wonderful, that's a great royalty rate if you're just doing print on demand. Some people have to charge as much as $24.99 because they go with ultra premium color, and they want to get between $3 and $4. So this is not uncommon to see. However, I think people that are willing to pay $24.99 for a hardcover book are rare. So it's one of those things where you really have to measure how this is going to come together, what kinds of things that you're going to create, and play around a little bit so you can see what's going to give you the best, the balance between the cost, the quality, and your compensation.
That's really good advice. Since you've been in this business a while and you've seen a lot of print-on-demand books, do you find that there's much of a difference between the starting out color choice to the middle and to the high end?
It's
Is it more vibrant?
it's funny that you ask that question. I wish I could give you a blanket answer. You'll see that the print saturation on a standard, you'll see the colors are a bit more muted than the premium. But I've had some clients, I tell them, take a look at the standard color first, order a proof copy for yourself, take a look at it, see how you feel about it. And then they're like, oh, it's still it's muted. I think I'll go up with the standard, with the premium color.
Right.
They get that and they feel like, it's a little better, but people aren't really going to be able to tell the difference. What I will say is, if you're looking at your KDP paperback, and then you look at an Ingram Spark book, you're going to see the KDP is much more vibrant and brilliant. The problem is they don't allow you to do hardcovers if you have any less than 75 pages so our children's book authors are kind of, not able to really benefit from that higher quality. And then you also have the benefit with Ingram Spark, where they have a 40,000 plus distribution channel, where your book is going to get in so many other places that it really makes a difference to be able to actually utilize their channel. Because once you publish on Ingram Spark, your book will show up on barnesandnoble.com, target.com. It'll make its way to walmart.com, Books A Million, so many different places that your book will show up, that you don't have to be, constantly going in and submitting to these places. All of the librarians and bookstores that will have access and will order through Ingram, but they refuse to order through Amazon. So my advice to folks is do it on both. Do a KDP version, do an Ingram Spark version, have paperbacks on both, and you can use the same ISBN, but play around with pricing, take a look at the quality. Some people decide, what, and I'm one of them, I don't mind. I think that if I just show somebody my hardcover that comes from Ingram, it looks fine, but I have very vibrant colors to begin with. Ingram Spark has this thing called ink limits. And so when somebody has to format for them, it may impact your colors depending on a number of things, on how your designer did your design, what your colors started out looking like before they get, they are impacted by those ink limits. So some people hate the Ingram Spark quality with colors. Some people are like, hey, it looks fine to me, and love it. And they love the convenience of it and the distribution options. So I would say, try it, test it out for yourself. And as you prove out your title, then you'll be able to go to the next, if you're selling a ton of books, you're going to want to look into probably offset printing anyway. But this is a great way to get your book out there and see if it has legs. So I highly recommend doing both.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. Mary Alice says, how and when do I introduce my audiobook? So Mary Alice, do you already have the book published?
No.
Okay.
I just found out today that the pre-launch would be July 16th and the regular launch would be the 30th. And I have an audio file, and with like on the launch team, do I give them a snippet of the audiobook, or when do I blast that? Because to
Yeah.
me, the audiobook really brings the written copy to life.
Oh my gosh, I completely agree because I know your book and I've talked to you about it. You've talked to me about it before, and I think your audio is going to be amazing. I love the idea that you're doing an audiobook. What is important is somebody needs to take your audio file. If you want an audiobook that will sell on Amazon, then you're going to need the regular story read, and I'm sure you have that. The other part of it is called an intro, which is just like an introduction that you want to put at the beginning. And then
Intro, the
outro.
story, and the outro. I've got all
And
that.
then and then there's one other, which is just a sample of your story or recording, so that when somebody goes on Amazon and they click on the audiobook, there's a little thing that says read sample or hear sample. And so there's 4 files that you need as a bare minimum. And so if you've got those 4 files and you want to move forward with uploading and getting that set up for your audiobook, there's a platform that I use for my own called ACX, and it is part of Audible and Amazon. So you go to ACX, I think it's acx.amazon.com, but I could be wrong. I would just, Google that, and you're uploading the files, you're uploading the description. And if you have it when your book is ready to launch, I think that's wonderful. And I want to comment on one more thing that you said, that for your launch team, you'd like to give them an audio snippet, or, you could have a bit of the audio itself of you reading the audio. You could make that available along with a PDF of your book for your launch team, to give them an opportunity to read the book ahead of time, to get a sense of what it's like, so that when your ebook actually launches or your print book launches, they can easily just go and give your book a review, right? That's the main thing we want with a launch team, is read the book, review the book, and also spread the word, right? Word of mouth, post what you think on social media, tag people that you think might be interested in the book. All of those things are really important. So I love being able to give them something ahead of time, whether you put it on a web page where they go and download, that's only made for them, or use BookFunnel, or just email it to them. Keep it simple and just email it to your launch team. So that's an extra thing. Go ahead, Mary Alice.
Okay, because the whole book is in one file the way it should be. And yeah, but maybe if I send the launch team, I can just record on my phone and add just a snippet. It might not, that isn't going to be the high quality that
Right.
would give them a taste. And do that for my launch team. And then, but when I go live, how do I promote the audio?
I think you would just use the same promotion tactics that you're using already, that you would go on, and whether you're doing social media or you're doing Amazon ads, if they can find the print book, then they can find the audio, because it'll all be linked together.
Okay. Will KDP automatically link that together?
Usually, yes. And if they have any trouble or it doesn't link, you can always open up a help ticket. That's not a problem.
Okay.
And maybe through Audible, I'd have to research this, but perhaps Audible has other places that you can also, promote the particular audiobook that you're doing things with. So there may be additional opportunities to just promote the audiobook.
Okay. Just
one of the things you and I have talked about, though, is that you are going to be doing a YouTube channel, right? Or putting
It's
your,
already up. And I
so that's
videos and
another
shorts.
great, yeah, that's a great place to promote your audiobook and maybe show samples. One other thing that I love to do, and I really love to create video books. And what that really encompasses is there's somebody reading the story, so it's your voice, and then the pages are turning and you're seeing the book as well, and maybe even a little animation that's happening. And there's a ton of really beautiful ones on my YouTube channel where I just, I help to try to promote some that my authors have done. And there's also another channel that I really like. It's called WeComm. WeComm is one of the providers. WeComm is, and they have their own YouTube channel, but they are doing some really great things. We'll put their link here. They have a YouTube channel, and I do a lot I use them to create video books, and just, you can provide the audio, provide the PDF of the book, and then let them know how much animation that you want to it. And it's been just beautiful seeing what they put together. So I'm going to put the link also in the chat. So if you want to check out what other people are doing, then go
Okay.
check out what WeComm does. All they're posting there is all of their video books that they created.
Okay, the people that are helping me with my website, at one point, they took the story, took
Mhm.
all the words off, and they were going to sync it up with the audio.
Beautiful. That's exactly what a
But
video
I
book
haven't
is.
seen it yet.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's exactly what a
okay.
video book is. With WeComm, they can add, like, oh, if you open up a page and there's a butterfly, that butterfly can be flying, and kids can move, that they can add a little bit of animation to it. Not that you need to, but it can add a little bit of life and extra interest to the video book. I do post my own video books on my YouTube channel, and I also make them available for free download. It's a freebie. When you purchase a book, it'll say,
Get the audio?
download the video book and read along with us, that kind of thing. So it gives them a little something extra that they get, along with some other little goodies that I might wrap in there. And that will entice people to give you their email address. And building an email address is so very important. It's the #1 most important thing that an author can do to help with growth and sales. The more people you have on your email list that are truly interested in your books, not just purchased lists, then every new book that you write, your email list continues to grow. And maybe you have 50 engaged people that loved your first book, and then you let them know in an email blast that book #2 is coming. A good majority of them are going to want to jump on that and maybe get early discount pricing and things like that. And it doesn't really take a lot of effort to grow your email list. You just have to know how to get, where to entice people. And it's in your book. Make sure your book at the end, people have some special reason to go to your website and to subscribe. Maybe there's an activity book, or there's some, like you said, an audio file that they can download. Anything that you think is going to be valuable enough to make somebody part with their email address, because that's important, right? We all get so much spam, but make them engage with you or want to engage with you and give you their email address to download something special. And then they're a customer that you can nurture and you can continue to grow that relationship with, and future customer of more books that are coming.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I recorded you.
Oh, you did? Well, this is a recording. I'm happy to
I
send
know.
it to whoever wants it too, so that's okay. Zilkarnian says hello from YouTube. Hello there, nice to see you. I've missed you on our sessions. Thank you for joining. Let me see if we have anybody. Oh, so Mary Alice, we've got you. Catherine, you say you have a question about Kirkus reviews. Would you like to take yourself off mute and just chat with me? Go ahead.
Hi, sorry, I have two little ones, so
Oh, okay, that's all
might be a
right.
it might be a little loud, but I have one book published called Why Me Mama, and I am about to launch the second edition of that. I worked with a different editor to reduce the word count, and I worked with a really awesome book designer to, just kind of help me with all of the things that as a first time creator I just didn't know and been learning the last couple of years. And so I'm thinking about, should I perhaps apply for a Kirkus review and then use that as also some momentum, depending on how it goes, but it is expensive. And so just curious about your
It is
thoughts on that.
expensive. I usually recommend it for those books that have a lot of potential and whose target is to get the attention of librarians, bookstores, right? Kirkus is very highly respected with librarians and the literary community. If you end up applying for a Kirkus review and you get a starred review, that's huge, because a very small percentage of reviews that they give have a star. And I've had a few of my authors earn the Kirkus starred review and make it into best books of 2024, best books of 2023 by Kirkus. And they also blast information about their reviews and some of the best books to the librarian and other literary communities. So it can be really good. It is very, very expensive. I think what, $450 or something like that.
I was just looking at it. It's $3.99 for a children's
Okay.
book, $4.50
Okay.
or $5 something for
Yeah.
larger
So
ones.
I will tell you that I've also had other authors, and myself included, that have had just a very negative experience with a Kirkus review, where the reviewer just didn't get it or said something that I'm like, what were they thinking? Like, that's not even in the book, or that's not a part of the book, or what do they mean by that? I could probably share a few examples, but they bring, just like anything else, they're human, and you're having one person's opinion that is going to rank whether or not you get a starred review or a bad review or something that you can excerpt to be able to move forward. I'll give you an example. I just met with an author earlier today, one of my authors, whose children's book is it's called When I'm the President. And it's got this cute little girl on the front cover, and all of her books are very girl power oriented. Like, girls can be anything, astronauts, entrepreneurs. And When I'm the President, she said, I'm going to do a Kirkus review. And I encouraged that because I wanted to see, can we get some traction on this book? And the Kirkus reviewer said something like, it was missing old white men, and all it was children in the book. I'm like, oh my God, like, they didn't get this at all. And it didn't show any alternative struggles that the president might face. It was all about, like, when I'm the president, I'm going to listen. When I'm the president, I'm going to help with opportunities. And it was very inspirational affirmation for children, right? And it is all children. You're right. There's no old white men in it, nor would I expect there to be. But like, the reviewer put that in the Kirkus review. And I'm like, we still found some things we could use in an excerpt, but it was disappointing. And I wonder, and the hard part is, if you can't reply to Kirkus and say, what?
That's good information for me to know, though, that
Yeah.
there's no back and forth. It's just,
They will refuse to answer any questions from you. And like with my Kirkus review on my anti-bullying book, which is by far one of the most well received. And, you know, I get so many positive reviews and teachers and others commenting about how much they love the book and they love using it in the classroom. And yet Kirkus was like, they just didn't like it. They didn't, they brought up a lot of things like, why don't the kids have more dialogue? I'm like, because the dogs are talking. Like, this is a puppy book and it's all about anti-bullying and it's from the dog's perspective. But, you know, they just, and I was like, some of the things they said, it just went right over their head. Like they didn't get it, but yet it is one of all-time favorite books in my series. So I just say, if you do submit for a Kirkus review, know that you may just end up with somebody who just doesn't get your book, who doesn't appreciate it, and you can't do anything about it. The money's gone. The best you can do is try to excerpt something that they said that was positive, and let's move on. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to go back and say, hey, you missed it. You know, you said this about my book, but that's not true. Or you totally misunderstood something. You can't do that. There's nothing you can do.
That's frustrating. That must be really
Very
frustrating when there's
very frustrating.
do you know, do they review like series, or do you have to submit every book as like a separate?
As far as I know, you have to submit each one separately.
Okay, because I was thinking of before, like my next set of books is called Ouch, Oops, and Oh No, and it's a set about bullying and like teaching perspective taking, but it's like they're standalone books, but I have no interest in paying $400 3 times.
I know. I have some suggestions for folks that want to get some reviews and just kind of dip your toe in and see what, you know, what people are thinking about the book. Go, first of all, readersfavorite.com will give you a free review, or what I suggest is that you expedite the review and you can get it back within 2 weeks for a $60 upcharge. So you just pay $60 and in 2 weeks, you'll have a reader's favorite review. If you get a 5-star from them, which many authors that I've worked with have, because it's high quality book, it's a beautiful design, the story, you know, we work hard at putting quality books together, and you receive a medallion that you can put on the front cover of your book, which is really nice 5-star medallion. So that's one I do recommend. And of course, you're always going to have that risk that somebody's not going to, you're going to get the wrong reviewer or somebody that just doesn't match well with your book. But it's a good one to start with. And then Midwest Book Review is, I believe, a $50 reader fee. And that's it. That's all it is for for Midwest Book Review. It's a terrible, god-awful website. And so just look for the email on the website and just tell them that you're looking to do a review, because you can't submit anything on their website. You have to go through email, and they'll let you know how to go about it, and they'll assign a reader to you, and then you're fine moving forward.
I sent Why Me Mama to them, and it was a very nice experience and very affordable. Would it make sense to send the second edition as well, or okay,
why not? And you might get a different, might get a different reviewer, which is fine. There's another option called Readsy Discovery. Have you heard of Readsy Discovery?
I've heard of Readsy, but not the Readsy Discovery.
Yeah, so Readsy Discovery is another one where you submit your book and they'll give you some feedback. I can't remember what the pricing is, but it's really reasonable, and you get people that are professional reviewing the book and giving you some feedback that you can use. Trying to think, there was another one. NetGalley. Have you done anything with NetGalley?
I haven't, because I had put the other one on, probably not relevant, but I had put it on the KDP, like that Amazon's just on Amazon, but so I never really got into the NetGalley. I've heard of that, and I've heard of Edelweiss, but I don't know if those are the same things, or.
So NetGalley is frequented by lots of literary people, librarians, teachers. And when you're getting NetGalley reviews, and it's a platform that you'd have to pay a lot of money to get onto, but what you can do is go through another company. So they put it on for you. And the company that I like to use is called Books Go Social. They have lots of marketing features and things like that. But one of them that I really love is they'll give you, I don't remember what the price is. We could certainly look it up, but they will put your book on NetGalley for you. And one of the reasons why I think this would be a valuable thing to do, if you're wondering, should I invest, $400 or $350 for a Kirkus review? Why don't you see what the literary community thinks, what the teachers and the librarians and bookstore people that sign up for NetGalley to be readers, see what they think. And you're going to get lots, of course, there's always the one, 1 star that you go, well, that person's in a grumpy mood today or something, but what is the average of what they're saying? And I would like my best recommendation is to put it on NetGalley before you go live, because then you can take the feedback that they give you, incorporate that into your book if it makes sense, and then update it and go live with your version. And if you have 4 and 5 star reviews on NetGalley, you get all of the contact information for everybody that has downloaded your book and everybody that's reviewed it. But for those people that have given you reviews on NetGalley, you can just request that they add them on Amazon for you, and they will. It's not a problem. For people that have downloaded your book but maybe didn't follow through with a review, you have their contact information, and you can ask them if they had the time to review it. You'd really appreciate it, would love their feedback. And then you can hopefully get them on Amazon to review it as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So Dana says, I use Books Go Social for NetGalley, got lots of reviews, well worth the money. And she didn't remember what the cost was either, but I can try to pull up the Books Go Social website if you're interested, we can dig into that. Michael says, can you put these in the chat, please? Sorry, Michael, what things are you looking for in the chat? The review sites, Midwest Book Review, Reader's Favorite, NetGalley, Readsy Discovery. Those are the ones I think I focused on. And I'll post those in the chat here on YouTube as well. Okay. All right, am I missing any questions here? Wide open for wherever you want to go. We've got another 10 minutes, and then I will stop my streaming and open and stay here with my mastermind folks who are going to hang out with me for another hour. If you want my company for that much longer, I will be here. Go ahead, Mary Alice.
I was talking with Denise, and I wrote down the question. I wrote it up there, what she said to ask. My book is scheduled to be pre-launch on the 16th of July, going live on the 30th. I was not, if I go to the Library of Congress to get the real deal, not just the verbiage that I have there. And then she was wondering, should I also apply for the CIP? Would that come in time? And add that? All of that language is new to me.
Yes, I will. Let me back up a little bit and explain about some of these identifiers that you're asking about. So the ISBNs, I think most of us know you should get your own ISBNs. You have to assign them on Boker if you're a US person, or if you're a Canadian and you have a different website that you go to, you need to make sure that you assign your ISBNs, meaning what's the title, who's the author, and all of that information, so that it's all logged on your with your ISBNs. So that's the first step. The second step is your Library of Congress control number. And you don't necessarily, let's just put it this way. If you want to get into a library and you don't have it, it's going to be very hard to get into a library because they use that number to categorize things and put them, to get your book into the library, along with the next one, which is the CIP block. But the Library of Congress number is very easy to apply for, and it's free, completely free to apply for. What has disturbed me of late, I'm going to put the link for where you can go to apply for your Library of Congress number right into the chat there, and I'll put it also on here on YouTube. What has really bothered me lately is instead of 3 days to get it back, like we have like years, it's been like 3 days to get it turned around. Now I'm seeing 6 weeks to turn it around. I don't know if there was some sort of vacation or some kind of glitch on their end, but that means that's an awful lot of time that people need to plan in advance. So that worries me. I don't know if it's going to continue like that. Catherine, you say you requested one and got it the same day. I'm amazed.
I
How
was
long ago
shocked.
was this?
2 weeks ago, because I'm working
Oh,
on getting the
okay.
information for my the second edition, and I saw the message about the 6 to 8 weeks, and I was like, oh, oops, I did not plan enough. And then before the end of the day, I got it,
Yeah,
and I was shocked.
yesterday I had one of my authors finally got her Library of Congress control number assigned. So maybe it slipped through the cracks, but she had been waiting more than 6 weeks to get it. And it was one of those things where she was really right up against her launch date and really, really stressing about it. So it must not be consistent. But I would definitely recommend not to wait for that. And then the third, once you've got your Library of Congress control number, you've got your ISBNs, the third thing is your CIP block, and CIP stands for Catalog in Publishing. It is a block of text that, you just give all the information to the librarian that's doing all of the cataloging for you. For traditional publishers or publishers that have published more than 3 books of other people's plus their own, you are considered, you qualify to have the Library of Congress give you that number. And you just apply for it and they will, the block of text. But if you're an independent author or you're a publisher that has not yet published 3 other people besides yourself, then you do not qualify for that. And so I found this third-party service, and it's probably one of 3 that I know of, but it's cipblock.tech, cipblock.com, and it's a service provided to independent authors so that they will create all of that text for you and give it to you. Usually it's just a day or 2 turnaround, so it's not a big deal at all. I will take a moment to show you, because when you're talking about all of these things, it can be very confusing. So I want to just take a moment to show you what it is that I'm talking about. What are these numbers and how do they come together? Let me look at Gnome's Rainy Day. We'll just do this. Okay. One of the new books that is getting ready to launch that I'm working with an author on. So this is the copyright page. And so I should probably say, are you able to see my screen before I go too crazy? No, I'm not sharing. Hold on. Sorry about that. Here we go. So this is the copyright page. And what you see, it's got the copyright information, the typical verbiage. And then here is a block of text. It says Publishers Catalog in Publishing Data. That's where CIP comes from. And it has all of the text and information that a librarian needs to catalog your book and to get your book into a library. Now, if you don't really care about libraries and you're not really too concerned about this kind of stuff, then you could skip it. But what the fear that I have, or let's just say, what I want to make sure is when somebody opens up one of my author's books and they're looking on the copyright page, they see this block of text and they know, oh, this is a traditionally published book, or it's a book that was done the right way. Like they know what they're doing. If it's missing, the librarian doesn't have an easy way. So you see the classification information down here. You see special BISAC codes that are similar to Amazon categories, right? You see all of that. You see subject information. You see the Library of Congress control number here. You see all of the different ISBNs, a description, the name of the series, the name of the authors. All of this block here is exactly what the librarians need to be able to get this book and take the book into their system and catalog it. So without it, they might open the book and go, oh, I can't do anything with this unless I manually enter everything, find out all this information, and then add it. And as busy as librarians are today, it's probably very unlikely that you'll get that to happen unless you're really good friends with a librarian. And I want our books to be able to stand beside any traditionally published book and be as beautiful, gorgeous cover, everything in place and in line, all the boxes ticked, so that what you have in the end is something that can compete with any other traditionally published book. And without that, I'm concerned that it's going to fall through the cracks, or somebody's going to know somebody didn't know what they were doing here. They left out this major piece of the puzzle. So is that helpful? I hope that's helpful.
Can I ask you a question? April, you just mentioned, you said that you can still apply for the CIPA if through the Library of Congress if you have more than 3 books published.
More than 3 authors published besides yourself. If you are a publisher, like, so my publishing company is Little Labradoodle Publishing. Now, someday I'll open it up to submissions, and I will, like a traditional publisher, I will publish other people's books. And if someday I get to the point where I have at least 3 authors represented under my publishing company, besides my own books, then they will let me just go to the Library of Congress to get that. But if that's not the case for you, then you don't have the ability to go through them. They won't give it to you. And some people that don't know any better would just go in and go, oh, I see I'm not qualified for a CIP block, so I can't use it. But there are these workarounds and these services that do help independent authors to get all of that. I think it's just that the Library of Congress has only so much bandwidth, and they had to cut the line somewhere. So,
and is there a charge for that as well?
Is there a, yes, so
that as well.
if you're submitting for a CIP block through cipblock.com, it's $85. And if you are a returning customer, the price chart drops to $70 because there's less trying to explain to you and help you go back and forth through things. So they will reduce the price there for.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if you have like a group of books or a series that you're trying to get, then reach out to them and they'll give you a deal on the pricing. They don't charge you $85 for each book if you're trying to do it all together. Okay. Michael, you said that you tried for the Library of Congress number and it took you weeks. Is that for the LCCN?
Yeah, for the LCCN, it took me, I think, 5 weeks to get mine back.
Crazy.
I
don't
just
know.
got it back, and I need to do the CIP block right now.
Yeah.
I've actually got copied and pasted the form into a Word document, and I started filling it out
Yeah, that's
last
what I
night.
did too.
Yeah.
Let me know if you have any questions as you're trying to fill it out. I mean, most of it is pretty self-explanatory, but there's a couple of places where it's like I usually have authors have questions about.
The only issue I saw is the ordering things, how they appear on my title page. And I mean, I do have a title page and I will order it the right way, but a lot of the things were just not in there. So I guess I just skip those over and leave them blank, and it should be fine.
What do you mean?
I only could do it for like 15 minutes and I had to
Oh,
leave and
okay.
do something else.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you meant by the ordering of the things on your title page.
yeah, I need to spend more time with it.
Okay, yeah, well, just let me know if you end up with needing some additional help there. So at this point, I'm just going to go stop the streaming with on YouTube. And I'm going to shift gears to work with my mastermind folks that are going to hang out with me. And so I hope you'll have an opportunity to check out some of the things we shared today. And I hope this was helpful. If you're on YouTube and you didn't get your question answered, or you come up with a question, feel free to post it in the chat there. I do monitor and answer all the questions that are posted. And I hope you'll come back and join us again. Let me just stop the live.